Hey, what's up? It's Valar. Hope everybody's doing awesome. We're going to get right into this one, actually. It's going to be a champion guide for the guy that's part of the fusion, Rugnor Goldgleam. But we're actually going to go to Faction Wars first because this dude helped me 3-star Dwarves 21. He can auto it and get the 1-star for you with the team I'm using. But we're going to try to 3-star it again for the video here and show you. I actually completely took Rearguard Sergeant out using him, and believe it or not, having Rearguard Sergeant in was sort of a liability just because the ally protects you kept dying. It made the RNG even worse, actually. So I got 2 DPSers with him in here, and this guy actually is pretty beastly. So I'll go through the gear and everything on everybody after this. I may actually do a separate video on him as a full champion guide. I'm not sure, though, because I want to test him out in Clan Boss, too, and I have yet to do that. The first wave here, I sort of just auto it because it doesn't really matter. You're going to get through it, no problem. It's really not going to be that big of a deal. So no big deal to just go ahead and auto it. Even the second wave, I feel like if you're doing Dwarves Faction Wars, you actually want to come in the second wave, maybe after you've come down the middle, but not the middle. 2 of the 5 or 3 or how 2 of the 5, I think, you'll see here in a second, are dead. You will actually want to manual it. And I feel like you want to manual that particular part of it and kind of micromanage it a little bit because you want all of your abilities off of cooldown when you're coming into the boss. This is one of the trickiest bosses in Faction Wars. And even still, I know they nerf Faction Wars. I am now, after this, 8 stars away from finally getting Lydia. So I'm almost done. I've just got to finish Demon Spawn and Lizard Men after this. Lizard Men, I think I have like a random stage where I don't have 1 star, and then I got 3 star the final stage. And then I got a 3-star, the final stage of Demon Spawn as well. But after that, I'll finally have Lydia. So there we go. Now, you see they autoed through that just completely fine. I do like to kind of target the Man-Eater because it's really annoying if he gets the unkillable up. Now, granted, she got complete provokes on everybody, came in with that off cooldown. So the likelihood of him even getting that up is pretty low. I will say I've seen this guy. I felt like when I had 0 gear on him and I was leveling up, he was hitting pretty damn hard, this Goldgleam guy. And I got to admit, I'm almost tempted not to fuse Pixneal because I think he's actually just way better than she is. I want to fuse Pixneal in case they buff her, and we all like to get legendaries, right? But I sort of feel like this guy might be the real prize of this whole dang thing. And then we'll just target Draco here. And actually, at this point, it'll slow it down significantly, but we may want to manual it a little bit here. I'm trying to see if... well, the problem is he's my decreased defense and weaken now. So Rearguard can do decreased defense and weakens. But now he's basically my decreased defense and weaken. So I actually am going to just manual it here. There's only 2 of the guys are left. And I don't want... I just would rather spam A1s. Actually have this come in with them off a cooldown. I'm going to take you an extra couple minutes to do it this way, but it's strategically better is how I feel. So, and even without even without decreased defense and weaken, he's still getting pretty decent hits. He was hitting with 0 gear on when it was like Arcane Keep I had him in or something for like 20k pops with 0 gear. It was pretty crazy, but I don't know if that was just a fluke or something. But that leech is pretty nice too. So the leech provides more sustain, which is one of the big problems. There's not a whole lot of dwarves besides Rearguard that actually have any sustain for you. And it's a minor sustain. I almost feel like the leech potentially a little bit more valuable depending on what setup you're using. So I think this will be perfect where we'll come in with everything off a cooldown. It is not a guarantee for this to even work. So I'm going to show it if we actually get destroyed. You see I had 3-starred it in the beginning already. So I used this team. I finally got 1 shot. It was dicey toward the end where some of these guys were almost dead. And actually I think Tormund, the good thing is Tormund gets killed. You want to actually use that reflect damage. And then even though unfortunately the way this guy works is he'll ignore defense. 100% of defense on A1. Defense does not matter. Stack people with HP on this. And then he removes all debuffs. Do not debuff him until he uses this ability. So you'll be wasting them if you do it. And he places True Fear on random enemies. He does the stun on all enemies except that enemy for 1 turn. And they can't be resisted and grants an extra turn. Now that's why Grizzled Jarl or Jarl or whatever is really good. And every time this guy loses HP, he's filling turn meters. So basically every time you're hitting him, he's really annoying and it is immune to all these different things, right? It's just super, super annoying, this guy. I feel like the two DPSers with Gala Long Braids and Rugnor Goldgleam actually make it easier because you can pump out more damage. It really is just a DPS race. All right, so now you want to do the block debuffs to A2 right here because now this is an interesting thing. I don't want to debuff him yet, so his A3 will do the debuff. Places increased attack on him, does weaken, and does decrease down defense, right? I have him fully booked. I fully booked the guy as well because I wanted to give him a real showcase, actually. So I'm thinking I will do this as a full guide, actually, here. But I'm going to use this ability, even though it's sacrificing some of his HP. He's got about 40,000 HP. But it'll place the shield on him, and it'll boost his turn meter up to 75%. So what will happen is he'll be the most, not most likely, but he'll be in turn to go pretty much after the boss spams that annoying ability that does the stuns and everything. He'll be ready to go with this right here. So that's actually what I want to do. And I don't want to use his A1 or A2. And here we go. So now the boss will go. Oh, not yet. Oh boy. This is a tough thing. Actually, I think I just did this last time because I wanted to get as much damage in as I possibly could and get extra turns with her. So this way, even though... Okay, we had two people that still have block debuffs up. Ooh, boy, that was rough, actually. That was rough. I don't know. That might actually really mess us up right now. Oh, man. That was pretty rough. Okay, so here we go with his A3. Let's actually do this here. The decreased defense. He got the weaken. He got a 90,000 hit. So you see his hits are really, really strong when he has decreased defense and weaken up. Pretty good, right? Before he was hitting for 10K with nothing. Now he's got a boom, a 90K pop. Pretty nice. So I think we can actually do it. This is going to be dicey again. You get a little bit nervous with this thing because Dwarves Faction Wars is so dang hard. Okay, 66,000, and the leech has been placed now too. So now, and he's got one turn. We're going to hopefully Grizzled Jarl's abilities off cooldown again. It should be. So we do the reflect damage. You can't provoke the boss, but there we go. We can do this. It's not in the good timing because he doesn't. You'd rather have his turn meter way up here, but we got to take what we can get right here because if we don't do it, then we're risking it even harder. Mess up. Man, I really wish the decreased defense and weaken were still on there. But they're not. That's okay. That's okay. As long as Molly Tankard does not die, we should be okay. Because I think he may kill one person right here. And then we can do a res. And she had the block debuffs. He's probably going to... Ooh, he didn't kill her. That's actually huge. That's actually huge, I think. I'm getting nervous. This is how tight this dang thing is. It's so annoying, this level. I felt there was other bosses that once you figured out the mechanic, it was actually much easier to deal with them. This guy is just the most annoying thing ever, though. Oh my god, I think we're getting... Okay, do we hit him? I guess we hit him. But we need her to go. Okay, now we can res, and she's going to have a block damage. Okay, maybe. Who's he going to target? Oh my gosh. This is crazy. All right. Oh, come on. Kill him. He doesn't have... If he had the decreased defense and weaken, it would be okay. Come on, do it. Oh, yes. I hope this ability actually just does it right here. This will be perfect. Yes! So it showed you right there exactly how to beat Dwarves Faction Wars 21 with this guy, with Rugnor Goldgleam. The guy is actually really good, and I'll go and actually show the gear on the Dwarf team. What I'm going to do is, so the video... I'm going to show the gear on him actually first, real quick here. I'll show the gear on the whole Dwarf team too, because this is actually, Faction Wars. So where is he? Because we're more excited about him. Like I said, I feel like there's less RNG with not using what's her face, Rearguard Sergeant. So I put him in Savage and Immortal because his abilities are interesting. He's got the leech on his A1, which when booked is up to a 60% chance, right? So it's a one-hitter, but it's a 60% chance of the leech. That's essentially like having a little lifesteal on it. I don't think it heals quite as much as lifesteal does. It's like 18% or something this heals by. But very handy for keeping you just barely alive on that boss. And this ability is actually pretty interesting, too, as it sacrifices HP equal to 15% of his max HP, then fills his turn meter by 75, like I was showing before, and places a shield on this champion equal to 20% of their max HP for 3 turns, and the shield buff cannot be removed. So he can't get it stripped away. The HP sacrifice will happen even if it kills him, but it also ignores shield and block damage, which is kind of weird. I'm not really sure. Like, this ability doesn't do anything. So is he ignoring shield and block damage, or is he having shield and block damage ignored on him? It seems like that doesn't even make sense to me. Someone in the comments let me know if I'm just completely way off base on that. But anyway, Gleam of Avarice as well. So here we are. This is his main ability that we saw. It's on a 4-turn cooldown when booked, but his passive really helps with lowering the cooldowns on this. It places a 50% increased attack buff on this champion for 2 turns. Then he attacks with a chance of doing the weaken for 2 turns. When it's booked, it's up to 100%. And then also 100% decreased defense on the target for 2 turns before attacking. So the wording on this, again, is just all weird, because why isn't the decreased defense above the weaken? I don't know. He puts the decreased defense up first, and then he does the weaken, right? Is ultimately what the ability seems like it should read to me, and that seems like what was happening there too. Dire Grudge. So it decreases the cooldown of his Gleam of Avarice skill by 1 turn every time he loses 15% HP. So if you saw in that battle, this was probably huge, because it may have been, I didn't even notice, but it may have been when we were doing the run that we were off of cooldown, or we had a 1 turn left to go. But because that boss hit him or hit somebody, hit him, and 15% of his HP was gone, it lowered the cooldown. And HP loss is accumulated and tracked over multiple turns, attacks, or hits. It's not affected by healing or other HP increases. I got to admit, I find the guy actually really cool. I would like to try him out in Clan Boss and some dungeons. So that's what we're going to do, actually. I decided, I'm going to do a little bit longer form on this video, because I think this guy actually deserves it. He's super cool. He's one of my favorite dwarves. I am not going to want to sacrifice him. I almost want to pull Void Charge just so I can try to see if I can get a copy of this guy that I could sacrifice to get Pixneal. But anyway, let's look at the masteries. Let's look at the gear first, then we'll look at the masteries. So I did put a refresh ring on him. It's a rare one that I got. I didn't upgrade it past 8 just because but I got double HP roll with attack. Bit of a meh ring, but it's one of those ones that had the skill cooldown. Only 5%, but I figured, okay, let's add some extra good RNG in there. Crit damage amulet. I wanted to pump his crit damage a little bit more. His crit rate and crit damage. And it had double accuracy roll, and then a 6-star accuracy banner with HP and speed rolls. So his total stats are 39,000, just under 40,000 HP. I don't have any glyphs on, although actually I do on some of the other equipment I pulled off of people, but most of this stuff doesn't have glyphs on it. Only 3,000 attack. I didn't focus on going crazy for the attack. I just really went for the crit rate and crit damage more. 196 speed, 110 crit rate, 257 crit damage. You can see 224 accuracy. So I don't know if this is going to work in the high up levels of Doom Tower or anything, but I feel like obviously Dwarves 21 Faction Wars, it's phenomenal. The other thing too is let's actually look at. Okay, I'm sorry about that. We're going to look at his gear. Crit damage and crit rate. Pretty nice gloves. I wish the double defense and these flat attack was terrible stats, but I rolled these up anyway because they were, crit rate and crit damage. I mean, I think I got double crit rate on this at first, but it doesn't matter. It's 6-star crit damage, legendary Savage gear, which for my account, it's very hard to come by. I don't farm that. I don't have the ability to farm as much gear as a lot of other players do. Attack-based chest, but I wasn't an HP because I wanted to have him a little more HP based off of how his ability with his shield works and everything too. But it had crit rate and HP there as well. Speed with crit rate, crit damage on the boots. On the weapon, crit rate, crit damage, speed. Really good weapon. Really nice HP piece here, or immortal piece. Triple crit damage roll and speed. Triple crit rate roll here, a little crit damage, HP, and speed. So very nice gear. Don't get me wrong, this gear is phenomenal, actually. So it's just, I want to show you, though, I don't think the stats I have are so ridiculously skewed that most people couldn't do it. It's 110 crit rate, 257 crit damage. Pump the crit damage a little bit. I think it's realistic to get within those stats for most people who are going to use them endgame. So let's actually show the other dwarves, too, because people may be interested in that. So the other dwarves, I'm just going to show their stats real quick. So 170, because you can just get the gear wherever you want with this. Masteries, I do have War Master on her. Oh, I forgot to show the masteries on him, actually. So that's more important, too. I have War Master on him. So I went down this. I'm not sure if Grim Resolve is necessary because he really didn't fall below 50% HP a lot. Probably would have been better to go with this, but a very minor tweak there. But just go down and get War Master. I got all the accuracy stuff. And because of the decreased defense and weaken he does, I wanted to get Master Hexer and Sniper and also Laura Steel that does anything with increasing base stats for him too. And then Evil Eye, a little bit of turn meter reduction. So that's the way I would go with him. Gal Longbraids, I essentially have defense, so she gets some retribution and stuff. And then also War Master, so you can see that. But I'll just show her stats real quick. 170, 101, 145, 4,300 attack. She's in Savage and Cruel gear. So she is in pretty decent gear too, but her stats are not bonkers or anything. And then Molly, I've gotten speed and Immortal and like HP gear. So, and her actual stats are 238 accuracy, 217 speed, 3100 defense, 65k HP. So that's the thing you want to go for is mostly more HP. You don't want Molly to get targeted either. You need her to actually be your like, top dog here. And then 50,000 on Grizzled Jarl, 196. You can see there. His accuracy is actually probably kind of low. Probably need to bump his accuracy. I realized I didn't actually even increase this banner. That would have bumped it to about 200. So that would be perfect. But that's where I'm at with Grizzled Jarl. So who else did we? The guy I forgot just for crowd control was really Tormund. He's useless at the boss, but here's my Tormund, just so you see him. He's nothing spectacular. There's a lot of defense, 5,300 defense, 41k HP, 191 speed, 357 accuracy. I guess he actually is pretty good. But that's that. So let's actually do some testing out with Rugnor here, Mr. Goldgleam himself. We're going to go to the arena, actually, and then see if we can actually get – we got to buy – I think it's just after reset. We got that 21 in the nick of time there. Okay. And then let's actually get this thing. That's what I wanted. Okay, so now we're going to arena and see if I can pick a battle where I think he'll be good. That's not going to be one of them. This one might be a challenge, but let's try it. Let's just actually try. Okay, I want to see what he does, so I'm going to handicap myself a little bit here. And we'll just do this. And then who else should we bring in here? Like a Trunda to just make it... that's almost unfair. We'll just put some defense. I'm just randomly putting someone in there right now. Okay, so I wanted to make it more fair of a matchup here. And hopefully we can get this set up where we get Madame Saris to do this. And then I want to see... I'm just going to A1 this guy just for the heck of it. I don't need to use this ability because it has a decreased defense and weaken. So let's actually look and see what he does. It doesn't matter who he hits, really, because he's void, right? So let's see if we can get what we do against Miscreated. 41k on his A1. Not bad. Not bad at all, actually. And you see, he doesn't have... I could probably stack his attack more, and that would actually work a lot better. All right. Normally this team I'd be killing in like 2 seconds. Okay, this is the nice thing why I brought him in here. So, all right, let's see if we can beat, I don't know if we go for the Doom Priest here. Why not, actually? Let's just actually see what this does. So get rid of the healing and stuff. And let's see. Oh, 87k with no decreased defense or weaken. I just noticed that. So he had 87,000 without a decreased defense or weaken. We're going to use him again in another battle where we have decreased defense and weaken with that up. Not to worry so much about the... so he's about 20k with when he puts the leech on with no decreased defense and weaken, you see there. But I want to see what he does on the A3 with a decreased defense and weaken up. So we'll just kind of auto this right here just to get through this one real quick. He put the shield up, so he prioritized that shield, which is cool, but now they've got increased defense. So, all right, it's slowed down significantly, this battle. Okay, here, let's do it now. Actually, we don't need to... I don't think she's not going to be able to kill him, and he should be coming up next, and with that off a cooldown. Perfect. So we don't even have to go to another battle. I just wanted to actually see this. It's only a decreased defense, actually. 69k? All right, we will give it one more shot. One more shot against this team right here. This team is ridiculously underpowered, though, so it's not really a fair comparison. but I just want to kind of see what he can do. And we'll go after... who are we going to go after? Let's see if we can just stun her. Yep, nice stun. All right, we will go after... Oh, they only have decreased... he puts the weekend on. I'm talking decreased defense and weekend before. We'll go after Kymar. Let's see what he does. With a shield on and everything. 69k. Okay. So I'm sure you could get this guy pumping out probably 100k if you get his attack up, is what I feel like. If you can get his attack to 4,000-ish, probably what you can do. 25k. All right, he's good. He's good in Arena. Is he absolute god tier in Arena? Probably not. Let's actually take him into a dungeon run real quick in Dragon and see what he does. He's going to slow the run down completely because he is just plain old single target. So we're not going to take my speed team out completely. And he does have attack aura and Doom Tower by 35, which is really nice. So who are we going to use here? All right, we're just going to place it on auto and see what happens. This is the team I'm going to use. Double Royal Guard, Dracomorph. I know that's really good, but I'm actually putting Arbiter in there just in case, because these guys are all three pretty squishy, actually, too. So let's actually see what happens. Let's give it a shot. So real quick here, we will check it out. All right, and he puts his decreased defense of 90,000. Wow, see, that's 90,000. It's single target, granted, right? So he's not going to be clearing waves like a monster for you or anything, but he's actually going to be doing pretty good consistent damage. I actually sort of feel like the guy will be good in Spider too. So we'll test him in Spider after this. I know this is going to be quite a long video, but I really think this guy has a ton of value. You almost got to feel like if you can get this guy, but you can't get the fusion, you should feel okay, actually, is how I feel. I think he might... 104,000 hit. Nice there. He might be more beneficial than Pixneal for most accounts, is how I feel. So he does more than she does. I really want to test him in Clan Boss, too. So I'm sort of thinking I'm going to do something crazy and just take like a... We'll see. We'll see, actually. It's not going to be a high damage run. I'm just going to try something interesting. I only have to do like 10 more million to get to the top key today. So I might as well throw him in there and try something interesting. It's kind of what I'm getting at right now. And I'm not even paying attention to what he's doing right now. I apologize. Let's see. 57,000 on his A1 with the leech. So with the decreased defense and weekend, so that leech is huge, right? You saw he fully healed up right there because of the leech. He doesn't have lifesteal on. He has savage gear. And he fully healed up because of the leech. He did 680,000, almost as much as the Draco. Pretty damn nice, actually. And I don't think we lost anybody at all on that particular run. So now let's try him in Spiders. Let's see how he does there. Because this is where he could potentially be an absolute beast for people. We want the decreased defense and weekend, so we're going to take out Mr. Dracomorph right here. My Dracomorph at 194 speed. We're taking him out, and we're going to put him in, and we're going to see what happens. So let's go for it. It's probably going to be about a minute, maybe a little bit over a minute on this particular run. Boom. Perfect. Wow. The decreased defense and weekend are up, and he did a 74,000 hit on the Spider right out the gate. Right? So that's pretty nice, actually. He works like an absolute charm as far as the AI goes. My team is not getting enough damage to just pump it out right away, so we got to go through another cycle of all that. But whatever. That's why I knew it would take about a minute. Because I got to redo my roll cards. Okay, what's he do here? 102,000. I just like seeing these numbers, actually. 102,000. This guy is a beast. He actually sped up my normal run. He sped up my normal run. That's funny. I don't know if maybe Dracomorph's animations are too slow. I feel like this guy would be too slow, but my normal run takes a minute, or this was just a really good run. Okay, we'll get rid of that. All right, so that's cool. Those are the two dungeons I would say he'd be really good in, although when I think about it, he'd probably be useful in every single dungeon. Even Fire Knight, he only got a one-hitter, but I feel like he is probably really good in every single dungeon. So let's actually go into Clan Boss now. We have a key left there. this is my unkillable team, and actually I've got to redo. I can run the Batman Eater, but I have not played around with gear and done all this stuff. The next artifact and enhancement event we have, because I'll be having to switch gear and go crazy, I'm going to finally build the Batman Eater and make it so I can one key everything. So let's actually... Problem is, this is specifically speed tuned, so I can't just throw someone out and not... Maybe we can. I mean, this is kind of... This is kind of crazy. Like, this guy's at 207 speed, which is 11 more speed than he has. I'm kind of just thinking what I'm going to do here. So let me figure it out. I'll be right back. Okay, I decided I didn't want to go super nuts just testing this guy out in Clan Boss. So really, this is my main team that I run. The Rosh card, block damage comp. I do it on Void mostly and just 2-key it in the morning because I do get up at 5 a.m. with my daughter. Anyway, the thing that I would do, the thing that I'm doing here is replacing Rosin, who I normally use, with him, because Rosin's like my decreased defense and weaken. I actually set their decreased defense and weaken with Rosin, and then just use Draco's preferential run that we're going to get. But we're just going to see what happens, just for testing purposes, is really it. It's not going to be the max potential, so I feel like I might do something in the future where I could, but just want to kind of see what he could do right now. Okay, now here he is. He's going to set the decreased defense and weaken, and let's see what he does. 113k pop right there. That's pretty nice, actually. I mean, pretty nice pop there. Real nice pop. Now, unfortunately, we got negative affinities in here. Although, it could be the right one, now that I think about it, to either Vizier, unfortunately, or Skull Crusher is going to get stunned. I want Skull Crusher to catch the stuns. But we don't have a cleanse and stuff, so on Spirit, could get messed up here. All right, now we got the A1 replaced. He already put the Leech on, because he did counterattack, and I didn't see what he did. 81,000 with a 72,000 proc as well on the War Master proc there, too. So, pretty nice proc there. And we're going to just set up all the debuffs if I can. And then I'm just going to auto it. And we'll show you the very end of it and how they do. See, the decreased speed right here is going to completely screwball this whole run. But it doesn't matter. Relatively speaking, we'll see what he can do. I wonder if he's going to prioritize this on auto, which I think he will. Let's see what he does. He did. So that's actually what I was a little worried about. And I don't know if he keeps prioritizing that. 130k there. So let's actually just see him on auto and what he does for a couple things. So Skull Crusher caught the stun, which is actually what I want. But I think that decreased speed is going to screw us up anyway. 74k. We'll watch for a couple seconds, and then I'll just tune it out so we can come into the end and see what he actually did. All right, Vizier. Now let's see what he does, what the other guy does when his abilities. When his turn meter comes up. 78k, he's doing pretty well, if you ask me, actually. And the other one's called Gleam of Avarice. So I want to see if that actually works on auto, if there is a decreased defense and weaken up. That's what I'm looking for right now. So we'll actually just wait a second to see if that actually happens. This isn't meant to be an optimal run. And he does. Okay, perfect. 136k, that's all I wanted to see. And we'll be back at the end. All right, because this was Spirit, I knew we would not have a good run, but that's okay. I only needed to do about 10 million because I had 60 million in 2 keys before this. So he died just a second ago, but that Leech, it's funny, my Skull Crusher isn't actually in Stalwart here. He just died. But it kept him alive longer than I normally do in Spirit runs because he was fully healing with that Leech and War Master procs. So not a great run, 18 million, but damage-wise, 9.5 million is Dracomorph, of course, with the poisons. But this guy is at 3.4 million. I want to actually try to test him out on... I may do like another Void run where I actually bring him in. It's actually what I think I'm going to do. I'm going to do a Void run as well at reset and kind of see how he does. But I'm going to leave the video at that. I wanted to do him justice and as good a champion guide as I possibly could with him. Let me know how you guys are using them, if you guys think the fusion is worth it, if you don't think it's worth it, if you want to keep this guy, what your opinion is on it. And please, if you found any value whatsoever out of the video, please subscribe to the channel. Please like this video. It really does help out to promote this channel and keep it growing. So I appreciate everyone's support. I appreciate Everybody who takes a second to watch the video, cheers.